Henry, my brother, welcome back.
Morning.
Are you ready for some Q&A?
Yes, sir.
Henry finished the Appalachian Trail. How long ago was it now?
I don't know. What date is it? Just over a month.
How's it been in a month? Do you miss it?
A little bit, yeah.
What do you miss about it?
I would say that there's definitely times where I miss, like, the culture of it, like the people and stuff, just like the random conversations. But then, I just miss the beauty of it, getting to just hike every day and you just got nothing going on, It's like a one-track mind. But obviously there's value in both, so.
Yeah. I feel like I would miss it. There's a lot out there that you got to see, and I'm sure that you're still processing. Do you still flip through the pictures ever?
Not really. I've been, most of the stuff I look at, I'm looking at, like, what what hikes I want to do next. But, yeah, I haven't really looked back too much on them.
Is there so you're looking at the things that you want to do. Do you think there's ever, like, a point in hiking that you're just content? Or is the point of hiking the next hike?
I don't think I'll ever be content. I don't think I'll ever be done hiking, because there's so much variation in, like, landscape and stuff, and there's just so many places you can go and things you can see, And, I mean, even doing the same thing, there's different routes to the same mountain. And so, like, Mount LeConte, for example, you go up one side, you're seeing the caves, and you're like, oh, this is cool. But that, like, trail going up is completely different. Like, they have, like, the metal rope to hang on to and stuff. You go up the other side, you see Rainbow Falls, and then you have a wet trail going up. And so it's just like everywhere has this different stuff that you're not gonna see if you go out there one time. And so just choosing what you want to see that time, and there's just so many places that you'll never get to see it all. So
Yes. So we got a few questions that I had to beg people for. When you were getting ready, everybody's telling you, like, these are the pieces of gear that you need, or this is what you should be carrying. Which gear pieces failed you, or which ones got left behind? And if you were starting again tomorrow, what gear would you start out with?
I started out, a lot of people just kind of told me, like, do your research and stuff. Some people asked about, like, precautions for bears and, like, safety stuff. But, yeah, I didn't get too much, like, advice, really. But I would say I definitely overpacked at the start. I wasn't sure. I went with a bivy to sleep in, and I would say that wasn't the best option. I think it was easy a lot of the time, because you can set it up in like 2 minutes and then you're done. But yeah, I started out, I had like a tonneau cover to make, because I was gonna like make a campsite kinda, and there's just like, once you start hiking, you're doing bigger miles, and you're like, early on you're running out of daylight, and then towards the end it's like, well, I can keep going, so I'm going to keep hiking. And then you're tired and you're like, I don't want to set up this. And so I just never used it. Never should have started with it. I started out with the wrong size pack, and that really affected me at the start.
Why was it the wrong size?
It was too big. I bought it online, and I just assumed that I would need a large, because I was
he's huge,
kind of bulky. so figured I'd need that. Started out, and it was the wrong size. I needed a smaller pack. So
turns out he's not that big.
But what else did I?
Was there any gear that like failed you? That just like totally broke down? You want to call it any brands by name?
Failed me?
Or was there any gear that you saw other people have that you're like, hey, that's really smart, or that's really nice?
It just depends. Like, because it's all about, once you get rid of excess stuff, right? It's things that you just, you go hiking for a couple days and you realize, I never use this, ditch it. You're not going to use it. And then, nothing really broke on me until the end, the last, like 5 days out. And my bivy, which is supposed to be waterproof, which I've slept in it in the rain before. I don't know what happened, but it was just soaked. Like, it was pouring rain it probably started pouring rain at like 10 a.m. and didn't stop raining until like 4 a.m. the next day. And I was soaked the entire time. The sleeping bag was soaked. It was just terrible. And like all of my clothes were wet. And I was like, this is the worst. And then, because of that, I'm carrying a heavier pack because everything's wet. But yeah, I would say that was really the only failure I had. I got my batteries wet in my headlamp, and so I didn't use that, but that wasn't the biggest deal. My phone broke while I was on trail.
Yeah.
That sucked, but I was lucky enough that a Verizon was in the next town I was going to, and I was hiking with a group of people, so I didn't really have to worry. What was the second part of the question?
That was good. What about boots, trail shoes, or sandals?
I would say most people should wear trail runners. And most people do on the Appalachian Trail. Almost everyone wears them. I started in boots, and I should not have, because they were good until they got wet on the inside, and then they don't dry, and so it just causes a lot of foot issues, a lot of blisters and stuff. And then I switched to sandals, and I liked it because you get your feet wet, they dry in 45 minutes with socks on, and they're just tougher, seem to last pretty long, and you just have to pay attention to where you're stepping more, but it's really not that different from trail runners.
A lot of people ask questions about water and food. Water being like in like when you were in drier sections, was there ever times that you were like, I'm not filtering enough water. And then other people were asking questions about like when you would get to town and stuff. Like if you had to go back over again, would you try and do like mail drops ever, or were you content going from town to town?
I was happy going town to town, just hoping for a good store. Because I mean, a good store for us is a Dollar General, but there were definitely some spots where it was like, this place I'm about to spend way more money than I want to, because they can charge it, like especially like, because it stays relatively cheap until you get up to really into like New England area, and then everything gets really expensive, and you get stuck in these stores where it's like, this is the only store in this town, and they know the hikers come here, so they have hiker stuff, but it's all overpriced, so that stinks. But I would definitely, if I was gonna do it again, I would pretty much do the same thing. Maybe I would ship some stuff, but not anything I would be mad if I didn't pick it up, just like some stuff from home that I'm missing or something. And then with water, since we were so early, it was pretty wet the whole way. Down south, you're higher elevation and drinking from springs at the top of mountains, and that's like the best water you'll ever have. But then around the middle, you get to Northern Virginia and then into PA, that is drier. But there's a lot of, I only carried 2 liters max. And I never really struggled, which a lot of people would say that's too much. Most people carry a liter max. But yeah, I think the longest dry stretch we had was 13 miles. But that's, in that area, that's like half a day. So if you're carrying 2 liters, then you're going to make it. And there were definitely some places we camped or shelters that we stayed at where you had a long walk to water. Like, you're going a quarter mile there, quarter mile back, and that's just like, at the end of a long day, you get there and see that, and you're like, oh man, this is just gonna be awful. But, because you kind of like, whenever you get done hiking, you have a hiker fog, and so you kind of just like sit there for a second and like just don't think about anything, don't do anything. You just like take a break, and it's like almost everybody does it, unless they're like someone who really is worried about setting up their bed or something. But I always I make my food before I make my bed, and that's uncommon. But yeah, we never had to worry about a dry stretch. But there are trail angels that leave, or honestly, a lot of them are shuttle drivers too, but they'll leave like 5-gallon jugs with like the pump filter on top, and they'll make sure it's in the shade and stuff so it stays cooler. Or people will leave out gallon jugs, so it's always supported in the dry areas.
See, what is a popular trail town that you think is overrated? And are there any towns that you went through that you can remember that you're like, this is really underrated?
Went through I don't know, I wasn't too big on Damascus, and that's supposed to be the trail town. It was alright, but it wasn't like really like sticking out or anything, you know.
Shout out to everybody in Damascus.
Yeah, I mean there's some nice people there,
Sure.
but it wasn't anything too special.
Any like hidden gem that you really loved?
I don't know. I mean, it just like kind of like skewed in my brain because like anywhere that we stopped and took like a Nero or Zero, it's like, wow, that town was way cool. Like, you know, because we're like Hot Springs. You know, I ate at the diner twice. I ate at the pizza place twice. And so I'm like, oh, that was
Love
great.
that place.
Like, at a Dollar General, everything's walking distance.
That's funny.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think there were a few cool towns, but that's kind of... My memory's always bad with that stuff, so...
Do you have any... So, like, there's the Appalachian Trail purists out there that have rules on, like, the only real way to be a thru-hiker is if you do this or that. Are there any rules that you're like, that's just kind of ridiculous?
I think purist to the extreme is ridiculous in general, honestly. Because you miss out on a ton of stuff. And also, the trail changes every year. So, you're never gonna, you know, you can say, oh, I touched every blaze my year. Did you really? Because it changed that year. So it's like, you know, we went through hurricane damage areas. And so it's like, as a purist, you take the like bypass trail, or do you stay on the trail and go through the logging company? And so it's like, you know, and don't get me wrong, if you want to be a purist, I think that's cool, you know, like, oh, congrats, you carried your, you know, you never slack packed, only went north, like, never skipped a blaze. Sure, that's cool. That's not what I was in it for, though, you know. I was in it, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say I hiked from Georgia to Maine, but did I touch every blaze? No, I did not. I had fun. But I don't know. It just depends on the person, because there's people that, you know, will like kind of put down anyone that isn't a purist, and I think that's ridiculous. Because like the most common saying is hike your own hike, and so it's like, you know, if you're...
But here's the rules for that hike.
Yeah, right. Like, what are you talking about? Why does it matter? Because if you go, you know, you go to the CDT, right? One of the Triple Crowns, it doesn't matter. Like, there's like 3 routes that you can take, and it's like not super official. Like, you gotta figure it out yourself, because there just aren't that many marked spots. And I mean, part of it is, but there's also large sections where it's unmarked. And that's just, it's kind of interesting because it's just fairly new.
Do you think that the Appalachian Trail is over-romanticized? Like, is it actually, like, do you think it's as special as some people treat it, for one? And then, do you think some people treat it... Last time when we spoke, you said it was kind of... Some people perceive it as, like, an extended vacation or something like that. So, both ways. Like, is it as pretty as people make it think it is? And then also, do people underestimate how hard it is?
I think, I mean, like the stuff that I've posted on it, and I realized that I skipped like multiple states when I posted. Like I was like, whoops, what I like couldn't fit anymore. But I'm posting great views because I don't know, that's just what people like, what I think that they would want to see, and like that's most of my pictures. I have some funny stuff of like the group and whatever, but I would say that there's spots with great views, and then there's long sections where it's like, this looks no different and like pretty flat. So it's just kind of frustrating at some points. And most of the time you're going from, it's like you go like straight up to the top, see the view, and then you're dropping straight down. And so, in that time, you're just staring at the ground, making sure you're not going to roll your ankle or trip on a rock or a root. And so a lot of the time you're just looking at the ground, looking in the forest, and it's just a lot of trees and stuff. And so it can get pretty boring at times. And it's like, well, this sucks, like how far away is the next view? And but a lot of the time it's just, we got lucky because we were so early in winter. We got through it, and most of the time we could see out on mountains and ridge lines that you weren't supposed to see out because there were too many trees, but there just weren't leaves when we went through. But for the majority of the people that'll hike this year, they're gonna miss most of the stuff that we saw because they're just gonna be in the green tunnel. They're just gonna be seeing a bunch of leaves. But yeah, it definitely was way harder than I thought it was gonna be. And I don't think people really understand that, but it's whatever,
Yeah. What would you say was like, what aspect of it was harder than you thought, or just all of it?
Starting out, I just thought, I really thought I was gonna be crushing miles because I came into it and I was a pretty fit guy, and so I was expecting that I would be over 15 at the start, and because of the weight of my pack, and I'm just not like acclimated physically, and daylight hours, I just didn't go as far as I wanted to each day, and so I just kind of had to be content with that. But yeah, it's just, there's a lot of up and down, and it's not smooth up and down. It's all like, alright, I'm going in a direct line up this mountain. There's just not many switchbacks at all.
Do you think that the experience on the trail gave you any clearer sense of your calling or purpose that was different from where you started?
Not really. No, I don't think so. Still not too sure what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said in the last one, I know I've changed, but I don't really know how. A lot of people start hiking to change or like become who they are. they want this big spiritual change and physical change, and I mean, for some people it happens, but I don't know. I don't think my views on things have changed too much.
Where would you say you saw God most present on the trail?
I would say whenever I was alone and like really struggling and stuff, you know, I would just kind of start thinking, and honestly, I'd start talking out loud, you know, just in prayer, and even if it was easy, honestly, like if I was just alone in general, you know, I'd just start talking and keep hiking. But there were definitely moments where, you know, you're standing somewhere and you're seeing, like, you know, you just saw some deer run, and so you're just watching them run, or saw a couple wild turkey, and that was pretty cool. And then especially, I would say the biggest, where it was like I thought about God and like really felt him, would be up north and at like the rocky overlooks and stuff, you know, because you're in you know, you're getting into like the alpine zone where there's just no trees or some vegetation, but it's all smaller stuff, and so it's super rocky, and it just makes me think of him, and it's pretty amazing up there. But it makes you think of when it says, if they did not cry out, even the rocks would.
Do you think it's easier for you to pray when you're out hiking versus in everyday life now that you're back?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say because your mind's simpler. You have so many distractions here, you know. Like, out there, I'd shut my phone off every day. Like, just completely powered off. I had most of the time, I had my watch, and I would set an alarm to, like, wake up. And, you know, all it does is, like, beep a couple times, but that's all you need. And my phone was powered off, and I just start hiking. And the only thing I would really focus on is hiking. You know, you have thoughts about home and food, and, you know, you start debating with yourself about stuff, but there's really no distractions, because there's no one that's like, you're out there and there's nothing you can do to affect anyone else, and nothing is affecting you except what's going on around you right there. And so your mind is just simpler.
Do you think there's a way to replicate that for people? Because a lot of people aren't going to be able to have that experience. Is there a way to replicate it here?
I'd say yes. I think, I mean, I would still say, like, get in nature, get away from, you know, get away from buildings, get away from cars, and you don't really have to be alone, but it'd be better if you were. But just leave your phone, you know, just go with nothing. Grab a water bottle and just go out. Hang out and it'll get quiet, you know. You have some birds and stuff, but it's never gonna be too loud out in the woods.
So say someone's trying to pick up hiking. They're not going to do the Appalachian Trail per se, but they just want to start hiking. What's your recommendation to them?
Do your research. Make sure. I mean, I would say, you know, just make sure you have the right stuff for that season, you know? Like, make sure you're not getting too heavy of a sleeping bag or anything. Try not to bring anything that you're not going to use, but if you don't know too much, then it's fine. You know, just start out with a heavy pack. It's fine, you know, because after you take that first, you know, if you just do an overnight trip, then you're gonna realize some stuff that you're not gonna need, and then if you go from overnight and keep doing just like longer and longer sections, then you're gonna get more used to it physically, and you're gonna realize what you do and don't need.
Is there any local hikes around Ohio or the surrounding states that you would recommend for people?
I would say there are some cool hikes in Ohio. I mean, not really close to us. I mean, there's like shorter hikes, like Yellow Springs, John Glenn, and then Hocking Hills is cool, but there's so many people there, so it's kind of definitely won't get the right experience. I mean,
it's beautiful there.
Yeah, it'll be a cool
sure.
experience, but not quite the same as being alone out in the woods.
John Glenn kind of gives you that same beauty with less people.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, southeast, southwest Ohio. There's a couple cool spots to hike, and then Kentucky. There's Red River Gorge, West Virginia. There's some sweet hikes there. The last hike I went on before the Appalachian Trail was in West Virginia. I did the Endless Wall and Skyline. I don't know, something about the sky. But yeah, those are pretty cool. Just depends how far you want to go. There's some cool spots in southern Pennsylvania, but it's pretty flat. And then further southeast, got North Carolina, Tennessee, Smoky Mountains.
Mm-hmm. People gotta get out to New York.
Yeah.
New York's cool.
Yeah, New York's cool. It's the first state you really start feeling like the bigger rock slabs and stuff when you're hiking on the AT. And that feels way better than the little rocks.
I bet. Is there any question that I'm not asking that you want to share with the people before we get out?
Nothing I can think of right now.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Henry. Thanks so much, everybody, for your questions, and hope you tune in for the next one.